Hello everybody, today we are going to be taking a tour of Urchin Underpass. This is one of the most iconic Splatoon stages and we're here to see if they did a faithful recreation. So without further ado, let's get into Recon and take a look at every single mode, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. Let's get started. So I actually want to start with the turf war layout real quick to talk about this closed area, because in the ranked modes this is going to change a lot. So I want to just give a brief overview of how it looks in turf war right here. And with that, let's jump into the ranked modes. So something that's exclusive to zones really is look how far you can launch yourself out of spawn. They really buffed the spawn launchers here. You can jump very far on any of the different sides if you want. From here, let's start with the spawn area. So the spawn area of Urchin is extremely faithful to S1 Urchin. It's quite large. This left side is expanded a bit. In zones, there's an exclusive ink rail that allows you to go over here, but this left side just has a little bit more cover. You have your usual snipe block you can jump to. All of this is very similar. There is a change to the spawn region though. This little bit is the only way to go back to this area here, whereas in Splatoon 1 it was a little bit more accessible. This right side has a little bit more added cover, and this little ramp down here was dropped down. You can jump across like this much more easily than you could in Splatoon 1. And there is also a sponge added right here. This is a defender sponge. The flank has been expanded a bit. There's now a bit of cover and two different drop zones. This little grate is here from S1. And now we move into the court area. So this has been expanded a good bit. This is a bit wider. I think this ramp is new. There's a little bit more cover. You can climb and stand on top of this little, I don't know, bench wall thingy. They added a sponge to the bottom left, and like I said at the intro, the closed area will change a bit. In general, there's a lot less uninkable glass, but here you can see that this part was made to be more open, made more back and forth, and you can get over here like this. There is also a brand new little grate wall over here, so defenders could use this to help retake a little bit more easily as well. That's pretty nice. This block is only inkable on the side. And then getting to the zone here with the last bit of the stage, this is still paintable. And then we have the zone. It is a very small zone.
Imagine.
And it's also worth noting that most of these walls are paintable, including the back of this bench. So you can squid roll up here if you want to hide. It is very cool. So in terms of my thoughts on the zones layout, I think it is a very faithful one. It is straight up an improvement from Splatoon 1. The wider drop is extremely useful. It's difficult to get to the zone. The amount of distance you could jump from the spawn region is very good. The extra defending sponges to get back to your side of the map are useful. I like the more open sides of the map in general. I think this is a pretty good zones layout, all things considered. It's like honestly hard to find too much to critique here that isn't general to everything else. So really great job on this one. And now we're here with tower control, which has a few changes. This left side is a little bit different. There's now this bit of extra cover added, and this wall was now made inkable. So if you get up here, you can now squid roll all the way back to your side, or you can do the normal jump, making this a bit more of a route. Now for the attackers without the tower, you still have to go around here and then loop around if you want to push that far up. So it's still pretty difficult to get there from the attacker point of view. Most of this is pretty much the same though. But when we get to the flank, those of you who played Splatoon 1 might remember that there's normally an inkable block here. Unfortunately, there is no inkable block here anymore. This is no longer a back and forth route. You can't even go back here as the defenders. So that is unfortunately a bit of a negative change. The left side here is dropped. This sponge is changed to a block, so both sides can get up here. And this is a lot lower and easier to climb up to. Other than that, it's about the same as the zones layout. The tower path now goes a bit further to the right, so this makes it easier for defenders to attack the tower from the closed. First checkpoint is pretty well placed. When the tower gets near the second check, you can now jump up here and do the jump that I talked about previously, which is very useful. You can also jump onto these grates directly. And the second check rests right here before the tower goes up. Again, gives you very easy access to this part of the map. So once you get to the second check, you can push up as attackers. I think that's really good. You don't want attackers getting up here too early, so the tower definitely balances it. And then there is another small change to the tower path. Rather than going to the left over through this area, it will now go up, making it a bit easier for defenders and adding one more, albeit very useless, tower jump. Overall, outside of the block on the flank being taken out, this is a very clear improvement. The tower path is a lot better, and it's much easier to defend on. I think this is a very good tower stage. All right, next up is Rainmaker. It's worth noting right off the bat how far back you can jump, and this stage actually brings a new record, as far as I'm aware, to the amount of Rainmaker free zones. We have multiple signs for this. This is sign number 1. Over there is number 2. If we go to the left here, we have number 3, number 4, and number 5 all in the closed here. That is 5 Rainmaker free zone signs. As far as I'm aware, that is more than any other Rainmaker game. Anyway, back to the changes. This is now a block instead of a sponge, so both sides can use this. I think this is a good change. Rainmaker is a little linear, so allowing this to be a bit more of a diverging path, even if it's very small, seems like it's a good change in my eyes. The left side here has this Rainmaker free like I talked about, but besides that, it's basically identical to how it is in tower control. However, you can push through here as the attacker. The Rainmaker is no longer under this bridge, but on top of it. And you can now jump directly onto this wall instead of having to squid roll up it. There is one Rainmaker checkpoint. There's also a little uninkable wall over here that is not that much of a hazard. And the Rainmaker check is very close. This is a single Rainmaker check. It does open up this jump, if I do it properly. Get the rain out of the way. You can make the jump up here with the Rainmaker, or just in general, so that's useful. There's blocks over here for cover. And finally, there is a block here, again, to try to add a route. However, they do not allow you to go up here in Rainmaker. So, unfortunately, like with S1, Rainmaker is still very linear. You're always going to go there, always going to go here, almost always going to climb this block and jump across like that. So yeah, and then the Rainmaker goal is right here. So, unfortunately, like Splatoon 1, Rainmaker is still quite a bit limited in this mode, but I think they tried their best here, and there's not too much I could really see. Urchin is just not an amazing Rainmaker stage, all things considered. Alright, Clam Blitz. Now, they did, in fact, put the basket right here, which was a little concerning. This area is a tiny bit different, but it's mostly so you can score the power clam from here. You can actually get over here with this new block, and then the closed is back to how it was normally in Turf War, like this, which is cool. However, a lot of this map hinged on, oh, okay, if the basket is here, surely the tower control block will also be here, right? No. You cannot flank here. This, unfortunately, makes it one of the most choke point heavy versions of the Clam Blitz stage I've ever seen. It is not fun to try to push on this map. And that's about it. Like, this is very much normal outside of that change, so. Alright. To give my final thoughts, I really like this Urchin remake. It is a shame that the block on tower and clams is removed, but outside of that, this is about what I could have wanted from a rework like this. I think that Urchin being a little larger is good, the new spawn jumps are nice, the close changes are good, the defending sponges to get back are awesome. All of that is just great changes in general. It's super exciting to see, and I'm glad to see a more faithful recreation. Definitely feels like we've learned a bit, even if we're still compromising with the Splatoon 3 map design. I hope we see it in zones and tower control and tournaments. Thanks for watching.